as the distance between the light source and the wall increases, we found that the light become dimmer and the circles that is formed in the wall also become larger. And as we come near or the distance from the light source to the wall become smaller, the light is brighter and the circle formed in the wall is small. This is what we studied last session.
الصوت بيقطع.
خالص. طب دلوقتي سامعاني؟ سامعاني طبعا؟
مش قوي. ايوه سامعة حضرتك بس في تقطيع كده في الصوت.
طيب تمام. وبس عشان الدنيا هنا يمكن هوا شوية يعني بتخلي النت يروح ويجي كده. معلش. طيب تمام. سامعاني دلوقتي؟ طيب.
ايوه.
طيب. In this page, we'll try another inquiry about how light travels. Now we will do an activity to know how the light travels from the light source. We will make this activity. This activity, we will bring 3 small plain postcards like this one. We started this activity last session. I will repeat it quickly. And we want a ruler, a pencil, hole punch, modeling clay, and a flashlight. What we will make, we will draw 2 diagonal lines crossing the center of the postcard. This line here from this part to this part, it's a diagonal. We can say it's a diagonal dimension from the postcard here. From this point to this point, this is the diagonal line. We will draw 1 diagonal line in this direction and another one in the opposite direction. The 2 must be intersect here in this point, in this center. We will make the same thing in the 3 postcards, and in the center we will make a hole here in the center of these 3 postcards. معايا صبا؟
ايوه.
سامعني؟
ايوه.
Okay. Then we will measure the distance between them. We will put them each one. The distance between them is equal. We will use the ruler to make the distance from the first postcard to the second one is the same as the distance from the second postcard to the third one. So the distance must be the same. We will use the ruler to make the distance the same. And we will use the modeling clay to make these postcards stay or stand vertically upright here. Each one is before the other. Then we will turn on this flashlight and we will darken the room. And then he is asking us, predict what will happen when you shine the flashlight on the card. What will happen when we shine this this flashlight on the postal card? What happens?
The light will travel and it will be dimmer.
Okay, the light will travel from the first one to the second one and to the third one and so on. So the light will travel. Okay. The next question, move the cards until you can see light through all the holes. So he wants from us to make the cards, the 3 cards, the 3 holes must be behind each other. So the light can pass from the first hole to the second one and from the second one to the third one. So move the cards until you can see light through all the holes. What do you notice? And what happens if you move one of the cards? يعني هو عايزنا نحركه بحيث ان الهول اللي موجود في البوست كارد ده يبقى كل الهول ده كله ورا بعضه. يعني اللايت يعمل passing through the first hole to the second one to the third one, then passes to the wall behind them. This is what he wants from us to do. Then he asking us, what do you notice?
What do you want?
Notice, observe.
If we move one card, the light will not travel to it. It will travel to the 2 cards.
Yes. But if they are all behind each other, so the light
will travel
pass
to the 3.
Yes, the light will travel through the holes in the form of straight lines. So the hole will move from the first hole to the second one to the third one in the form of straight line. So we can notice that the light can travel in the form of a straight line. This is the thing that we want to observe from this activity. that the light passes from the source of light in the form of a straight line. So it can pass from the first hole to the second one to the third one because it travels in a straight line. So it can pass through the 3 holes. Okay?
Okay.
This is the thing that we want to observe. The light is traveling in a straight line. And this is the thing that we will start in the next page. Here in the next page, we have a lamp. This lamp is a source of light. The light comes out from this lamp. So you know that a beam of light travels outwards from the light source. This lamp is light source, and the light is emitted from it or travels from it to the outside, to the direction of the outside. This is similar to the lamps that we use in our rooms. We have one lamp, and this lamp can light the whole room. So the light is traveling from the lamp and spread out from it to make the room, we can see the things or the surroundings because of the light that come out from this lamp. So when the beam of light travels outward from the light source and it spreads out. Spreads out means that it distributed in the place. And so we can see everything around us. You also know that light travels in a straight line. This is how the light travels from the light source. It travels in the form of straight lines like these lines that we are drawing around the lamp. Okay?
Okay.
سامعاني ولا صوتي قطع؟
لا صباح حضرتك.
تمام. طيب the scientists draw diagrams to model how light travels. Now, if we want to model how the light travels from the light source, we have a lamp, we have a flashlight, we have anything that emits light. The scientists want to study how the light travels from this diagram. So the scientists draw diagrams to model how light travels. So they draw this lamp and then they express the light that come out from the lamp in the form of a straight line. This is known as ray diagram. The ray diagram, when we write the source of light and the source of light, and we can imagine that the light come out from the source in the form of a straight line like this. So the scientist have to draw diagrams to model how light travels. They imagine a beam of light as lots of rays. They imagine the light that come out from the source as rays that travel in the form of a straight line. So they draw this one, which is called ray diagram. Okay, Sabah?
Okay.
So we can draw the ray diagram to express or to represent the light that come out from a light source, like this one. This lamp, we can imagine that the light or the beam of light come out from this lamp, and we can draw it in the form of straight lines. This is a ray diagram. This ray diagram shows how the light from a lamp travels to the surrounding. It shows that the light come out from all directions. Can you see? They draw the straight lines come from all the direction around the lamp, from the above part and from the two sides. So the light comes from all direction of the lamp, and they travel in the form of a straight line. The rays are straight lines, and the arrows show the direction of the light ray is traveling. The arrows that are drawn here. Can you see the arrows here?
Yes.
Okay, so these arrows like this one. Okay, ثواني. اهو. This is مش عايزك تحرك. ثواني القلم مش عايزة. These lines, this one is the form of the straight line that come out from the light source. So it come in the form of straight line like this. Straight line come out in the form of straight line like this. So these are representing the light that come out from the lamp in the form of a straight line. Then after we draw the straight lines, we have to draw arrows. These arrows represent the direction of the light. Can we draw the arrows like this? شايفة اللون ده؟ Can we draw the arrow like this? What is the direction of the arrow here?
Straight.
The arrow, can you see the arrows that I am drawing in the blue color?
Yes.
Is this direction is right?
No.
No. The light travels from the lamp. This is the source of light. So the light must travel from the lamp to the surroundings. So the arrow must be drawn like this. This is the direction of the traveling of the light from the light source to the surrounding like this. So we have to draw it correctly. We have to draw it in the form of a straight line, and this straight lines must, the arrow must be in the right direction. So it represents the direction of the light that come out from the lamp to the surrounding in the form of straight line, and this straight line has the right direction of it. Okay, Sabah?
Okay.
Okay. So what we can conclude from this page or from this activity, that the light come out from the source of light in the form of a straight line, and we can represent it with a thing called ray diagram. The ray diagram, when we draw the source of light, and there is a straight line come out from it, and there is arrow that represents the direction of the traveling of the light. This is the ray diagram. So now in activity 1, study the ray diagram above and talk to a partner. The first question, are all the rays of light traveling in the same direction? This is the first question. In this
Yes.
ray diagram.
No, no,
Yes.
no.
No, why no?
Because because the rays are traveling in different directions.
Yes, very good. They travel in different directions because they come out from all the sides or from all around the lamp. So they each one travel in different direction. Okay. Question B. What is the same about the way the rays of light are traveling? What is the same? What is the similarities between them?
Straight line. Straight line.
Yes, that they travel in a straight line. Very good. C. How many rays of light can you count from this ray diagram?
13. I count.
13. Yes. Do you think a lamp gives out more or less light, less rays?
More.
More, yes, very good. It may be more than maybe millions of rays, but we make a diagram to represent that there is a light which is come out from the lamp, but they are more than 13. Okay, D, is this a good enough model? Do you think you could draw all the light rays? Would this help? We will take the first part. Is this a good enough model?
Yes.
Yes, it's a good enough. Do you think you could draw all the light rays?
Yes.
Okay, not all the light rays. We said that the light ray will maybe millions of light rays. So we represent only by some of them. Okay. يعني هو اصلا اللايت بيطلع من اللامب كتير قوي، فاحنا عشان نعمل لو عايزين نرسمه بالظبط نرسم millions of straight lines، بس احنا بنعبر بس عن اللايت اللي بيطلع فبنرسم شويه ريز وخلاص. اوكي. activity 2, draw a ray diagram to show how the beam of the light from this flashlight is traveling. Can you draw it in the screen from this flashlight? ممكن ترسمي على صورة الفلاش لايت على طول يا صبري.
Okay. لحظة بس مش عارفة. فينيشت.
اوكي، انا كان قصدي ترسمي على صورة الفلاش لايت اللي مرسومة على الصورة دي نفسها على طول.
اوكي.
تمام، لا خلاص مش مشكلة خلاص. بصي انت رسمتيه صح تمام، بس انت خدتي بالك هنا اللايت هنا طالع في صورة ايه؟ يعني عامل شوية، انت عاملاه ستريت لاينز كده بس. طيب هو طالع بره شوية، يعني شايفة اللايت طالع ازاي؟ ايوه بالظبط كده، برافو. يبقى انا المفروض اللايت يكون طالع من جميع from all the direction from the source of light. Yes, very good. So we can draw it here in the picture of the flashlight like this one. I will change the color so it can appear in the form of straight lines from the source of the flashlight like this. Some in the same direction, straight lines in same direction, other here like this. So this is the ray diagram. You forget something which is important, the arrows. You forget the arrows to show the direction of the light traveling. Yes, very good. To show that the direction of the light is come from the light source to the surrounding. So the the arrows are very important. So we have to, yes, very good. This is a ray diagram, which is a scientist draw so they can represent the direction of the light. The most important thing is that the light travels in the form of straight line and that it is come outwards from the source. It moved from the source to the surrounding. And we have to draw the arrow to represent the direction of the light. Okay. Then here in the next activity, discuss these questions with a partner. What is the difference between a beam and a beam and a ray of light? He wants to know what is the difference between the word beam and the word ray.
Ray, it is the things the light that go out from the flashlight. The beam is like actually the
The beam is these things that what we see from the flashlight, like the part which is in light color. The beam is the light that come out from the source of light, like this flashlight. So the beam is what you see coming out from the light source. This is a beam. What is the ray? The ray is a straight line, or it is a beam of light that being made of many individuals ray. The ray is the straight line that we can represent the light with. We represent this beam of light in a straight line. So this is the difference between the beam and the light. The beam is what we see come out from the source of light. The light that we can see come out from the source of light is the beam. The ray is, if we imagine this beam as a straight line, so we represent it in a straight lines. So this is the difference between the ray and the beam. The beam هو ايه؟ هو الضوء اللي طالع. يعني لما اقول البيم اوف لايت هو شويه الضوء اللي طالعين من الفلاش لايت، ده البيم. طب الري، لو انا عملت imagination this beam I want to imagine it and to represent it, I represent it in the form of rays in a straight line. Okay? So these individual straight lines or rays represent the beam. واضح ليك الفرق يا صبا ولا لا؟
أيوة.
اوكي، يبقى البيم هو اللايت اللي طالع، الضوء اللي طالع ده هو ده البيم، الحته الفاتحه دي، شايفه الحته اللي عاملين لها باللون الابيض واللبني والازرق دي؟ This is the beam. هو ده البيم. طب الري، is the straight lines or the lines that I represent the beam with. This is the ray of light. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. B, how is your ray diagram in activity 2 similar to the ray diagram of the lamp above? What is the thing which is similar between the rays that we draw here and the rays that present here in this ray diagram? They are similar in what?
In the lines.
It's very good that we represent the light in the form of straight lines. What is the similarities between these rays and these rays?
These rays are showing the real rays in the flashlight.
Yes, okay. And the two are straight lines. They are similar that they are straight lines and they come out from the source of light. So they are similar in these two things, that the rays are in the form of a straight line and they move from the source of light and spread to the surround. Okay, see, how is it different and why? What is the difference between the light come from the flashlight and the light come from the lamp? أنا صغرتها عشان تشوفي الاتنين مع بعض.
So it is the same.
There is nothing different between them.
Actually, the lamp is dimmer, and the flashlight is brighter.
Okay, there is another thing that the light, the lamp gives light from all the directions. It gives light from all directions. The flashlight gives light, or it's a source of light and has only one direction. Give light from the forward part only. While the light gives light from all the direction of the lamp. Okay. So the light from the flashlight is concentrated in a small area, while the light that comes from the lamp is distributed in a large area because it comes from all the sides of the lamp. Okay, the lamp emits light from all sides. The flashlight emits light from the forward only. So the light that comes from the flashlight is concentrated more than the light comes from the lamp. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, this is the difference between برضو قوي. طيب خلينا نكمل، تعالي نشوف. هنا هنتكلم عن topic تاني أو عن حاجة تاني مهمة أوي. إحنا we talked about that the light travel in the form of a straight line, and this straight line has a direction come from the source of light to the surrounding, and we talked about the ray diagram. Now we will talk about the light when it is reflected. When light shines in any object, some light bounces off. Bounces off means that is reflected to the opposite side. Like what? Like when لما يعني ما جربتيش مرة معاكي فلاش لايت وتحطيه قدام المراية؟
لا حطيته.
ايه اللي بيحصل؟ بتلاقي ايه؟
reflecting.
بيبقى فيه ريفلكت، بيبقى فيه بتلاقي دايره كده من النور كده، لايت كده، بتبقى ريفلكتد بقى على حسب الحيطه مثلا اللي وراها، ولو حركتي ايدك اتجاهات مختلفه هتلاقي الايه الريفلكتد لايت ده كمان بيتحرك. فده بيبقى ايه؟ ده بيبقى light which fall in the mirror and then it is bounces of the mirror to the opposite wall or the opposite surface. So it bounces off. Bounces off here means reflected. The light that shines in any object, some light from this light is bouncing off or it's reflected. The light is reflected. Reflected means that it's returned back in opposite direction. An object that only reflects light is not a light source. Anything which reflects light, we can't consider it as a light source. We talked about the light source and we said that the sun is a natural light source. The northern light is a natural light source, and we have another light sources which are artificial, like the candle, like the lamp. They are artificial light sources. We consider them a light source. Why? Because they emit the light. The things that reflects the light, like the mirror. The mirror is a light source? No, because it doesn't emit its own light. It reflects the light that falls on its surface. But an object which only reflects light, we can't consider it a light source. Like the mirror. We can't consider the mirror as a light source. We can't consider the moon as a light source. Why we can't consider the moon as a light source?
We cannot because it reflects its light from the sun.
Yes, very good. Because it doesn't emit light. It reflects the light that comes from the sun. So any object that reflects the light, we can't consider it a light source. It only reflects the light that falls on its surface, make it bounces off from its surface. So the amount of light reflected depends on the material the object is made from. According to the material that the surface is made of, then the light may be reflected or it may be not reflected according to the material. Like if we have a thing which is made of wood and a thing which is made of metal, which one will reflect the light more, the wood or the metal?
The what?
The wood or the metal?
The what? كنتش سامعة.
I was asking you, what is the surface that will reflect the light more, the wood or the metal?
Metal.
The metal, yes. So the metal is a material which can reflect the light. So the reflection of the light depends on the material the object is made from. If it is made from an object, if it is made from a material which can reflect the light, so it will reflect the light like the metal. If it's made of a material that doesn't reflect the light, so the light will not be reflected. So we have some materials don't reflect much light. It doesn't reflect much amount of light. So this object always appear dark and dull. They are dark and dull like the wood, like the paper, like the fabric. They don't reflect much amount of light. While the other material which appear bright and appear shiny, so they are reflecting them. So when we are talking about the material that made the surfaces around us, according to the material, will be the amount of the light that will be reflected. So the objects that doesn't reflect the light appear dark and dull. For example, as the wood. Wood doesn't reflect much light because it is dark and it is dull, so it doesn't reflect a big amount of light from its surface. While other things that made of metal, as an example, it appears bright and appears shine, so it can reflect a big amount of light. So objects that reflect a lot of light appears bright and shiny. The object or the material, the objects that is made from a material which appear bright and shiny, they can reflect the light in a big amount, like the metal. The more light an object reflects, the brighter it appears. As this thing reflects a big amount of light, it appears bright, appears that it is bright, like the mirror. We can see the mirror, that the mirror is bright thing. It's bright because it reflects a big amount of light. The things that is made of metal, it reflects a big amount of light, so it is appear a bright thing. Okay, and also the moon. The moon, we can see it very bright. When we look at the moon at night, it appears very bright. Do it emit its own light? No, it appears bright because it reflects the light that comes from the sun. So the moon looks bright because it reflects a lot of the light from the sun. The mirrors also, the mirrors that we can see ourselves in, the mirrors reflects lots of light because they are bright and shiny. So we have two types of a material. The first type is the material which is dark and dull. It doesn't reflect much amount of light, like the wood, like the paper, like the plastic. They are not bright. They are dull and dark. So they don't reflect a big amount of light. Other materials like the metals, like the moon, like the mirror, they reflect a big amount of light. So they appear shiny and bright because they can reflect the light. So we can see the moon bright, we can see the things made of metal bright, we can see the mirror bright because they reflect a lot amount of light that fall on its surface. Okay, Sabah? Okay. Let's see activity 1. Collect different materials, predict which will reflect the most light. How will you test them? Try your ideas where you correct. He wants from us to test different materials like wood, like paper, fabric, metal, mirror. All these things we can test them for the reflection. We can bring them and then we turn on the flashlight on them and we can see if they can reflect light or not. اوكي؟ عملتوا activity زي دي في المدرسة يا صبا؟
لا.
لا.
لا. واحنا بنحل بس الكويشنز، مش بنعمل اي activities.
يعني مفيش ولا activity من الاكتيفيتيز اللي موجودة في الكتاب بتعملوها؟
هي في مرة عملنا واحدة وخلاص،
ايه هي؟
اللي كانت في يونت 5 بتاعت الجلوفز وبس.
بتاعت الجلوفز. معلش فكريني انهي واحدة؟
اللي هي لما نحط فوتر في الجلوفز، اللي هو physical change، لما نحط جلوفز وتكبر وبعدين
freezing الووتر في الجلوفز.
يس.
اوكي.
واسمها ايه ده، واحنا نجيب بيبر ونرسم جواها سيركل ونحط فلاش لايت وبس، اي حاجة تانية معلش.
اوكي. فكروا ان انتوا بتعملوها كلها يعني.
لا،
طيب خليكي
احنا عملناها مرة حاجة مهمة أوي يعني، عشان لو مفيش ناس فاهمة. أمال مش كانت عاملاه أصلا بالصدفة، عشان كانت دي حاجة سهلة، ولا أي حاجة تانية لأ.
مم. اوكي طب تعالي نشوف الفيديو ده.
Straight lines. Have a look at this picture. The sun is a light source in this picture. And you can see the sun's rays streaming through the clouds in a straight line. Light travels in straight lines until something stops it. Now, this means that light bounces off the object and the light does not go through it. In our investigation today, we are going to use a torch as our light source, and we are going to see which of these objects stop the light from passing through it. The objects that we will be testing include tissue paper, foil, book, a plastic bag, and a glass of water. Before we test each object, we are going to make a prediction. Do you know what the word prediction means? It means to have a really good guess. So I want you to have a really good guess. Do you think that the book will reflect the light? That means it will stop the light from passing through it? Or do you think that the light will pass through it?
What do you think, Sawa? What's your prediction? The book will reflect the light or it will not reflect it?
It will not reflect it.
Will not reflect it? Why?
أنا قصدي إن هو اللايت مش هيخرج من الناحية التانية.
Okay, this means that it will reflect it. The light doesn't pass through it, so the light will be reflected. The light can pass from the transparent objects like the glass. The glass is a transparent object, allow the light to pass through it, so it will not reflect it. But any object that doesn't allow the light to pass through it, so it will reflect it. Then the reflection will differ. It will reflect it like the mirror, it completely reflected, or it will reflect it in a small area or a small amount of light. This is the difference, but for sure it will reflect it.
Or prediction. I'm going to put the book in front of the torch. Have a look to see what happens. Does the light pass through it, or does the book stop the light from passing through? You can see in the background that the wall goes dark. This means that this book reflects the light. Now let's make another prediction. Do you think that the plastic bag will reflect the light, That means it will stop the light from passing through, or will the light pass through it? Have a think.
What do you think, Sabat, will reflect it?
No.
No.
Think about your prediction, and then we'll have a look to see what happens. I'm putting the bag in front of the light. As you can see, the wall is still bright with light. This means that this bag does not reflect the light. It lets it pass through it. Now I want you to make a prediction about the foil. Will the foil reflect the light?
It will reflect it, Sabat?
Yes.
Yes.
That means, will it stop the light from passing through it, or will the light pass through it? Have a think about your prediction, and then we'll have a look to see what happens. I'm going to put the foil in front of our source of light, which is the torch. Have a look to see what happens. Do you think that the foil reflects the light, which means it
Yes.
stops it from passing through, or do you think that the light goes through?
Reflects.
Now I would like you to make
Yes,
a prediction about the tissue paper.
The tissue paper will reflect.
Do you think that the tissue paper will reflect the light, or
Yes.
will the light pass through it? What's your predictions? I'm going to put the tissue paper in front of the light source. Have a look to see what happens in the background. The wall turns red. That means that the light does pass through this tissue paper. The tissue paper does not reflect the light. I've got one last prediction.
بصي هنا يعني هنا هي حاجة تاني بقى إن اللايت بيعدي شوية في objects بنلاقي اللايت ممكن يعدي منها شوية ويعني بتبقى